Oh, all right. We are cooking with Grease, y'all. Listen, I am so excited that we are here tonight. It is the third Thursday. Get excited about the third Thursday and parent empowerment, right? Why not? It's a Thursday night. It's the day before Friday. Some folks are going on spring break. Some folks, gosh, are just getting ready for the weekend. So, and that's wonderful. Not me, not yet. I still gotta go back to work tomorrow. So so that's just how it's gonna have to go. And I'm okay with it because what it gives me the opportunity to do is to chat with you all a little bit about what's going on and how to help you dismantle madness, right? Dismantle madness. That's what we're here for. So if you happen to join us via social media and you didn't get to RSVP, please go over and RSVP or just take a moment to send us. You can send me a private message. You can send a private message to Tikisha Michelle with your email address so that we can stay in touch with you. Or you can go and just become a site member at eduinsideout.org. So I'm really excited about having the opportunity to stay in touch with you. So I'm going to go ahead and continue on with our conference for this evening. Now, what you all are going to notice is that our conference is it's a little bit different, right? It's a little bit different than, it's a little bit different than what we've done in the past. We've been live, but tonight we are virtual. Get excited about it. So I'm going to share with you all a little bit about myself. I am Tikisha Michelle, right? And so I am your parent empowerment specialist. But listen, before I was a parent empowerment specialist, I was simply a big sister. I was a big sister, and then I became a mom. So my very first babies are these very tall things right here. Those are my first babies. I'm their big sister, believe it or not. They call me their little big sister, but they are so much taller than me. But those are my very first babies who I took care of while my mommy went to work. And then my first baby, my first big baby here, when I was 16, I was about 17 actually when I wound up. I was a teenager. So this wonderful being right here is my son, and he's doing great things in the world. And he's a college graduate. Had to do a lot of preparation for that. And then this is my baby girl. She says she's my favorite child. I tell her she is my favorite daughter. And then he agrees with her that she's my favorite child. And I don't understand where they get that from. I don't know about y'all, but I do not have a favorite child. This is my favorite son, and this is my favorite daughter. They make it really, really easy for me to have a favorite of each one of them. So I'm excited. And I know that my baby girl, she's going to jump on. She's a performer. So when she gets a moment, she will jump on. Welcome, welcome. So I'm excited to introduce you all to my backstories, actually. These are my whys. This is part of the reason why I started doing what I do as a parent empowerment specialist. I was just a parent advocate because I was a teacher. So I took care of my siblings, and then I had to take care of my kids. And then I started taking care of other people's children. And I started learning a lot of information, a lot of information. And then my life just kept going and going. And all of these things, all of these life experiences made me the parent empowerment specialist. Y'all, I told you, those are my first babies, right? So I'm the oldest. And then during that time, my mommy had to have a babysitter. That babysitter decided that I was the best thing in his life for a little while, unfortunately. And then, of course, that transition, I became a teen mom. But guess what? That didn't stop me. I still graduated college. I did have 2 children out of wedlock, but then I still got a postgraduate degree, right? I was a, I'll admit, I was an unsuccessful step parent. Understand me. I just I can't say it any better, any worse. I was not really successful. I don't think. I tried. I did try. No training. Nobody told me what to expect or how to deal with that particular situation. But well, that's it for another time. I'll tell you about that another time. I have so much to share with you all. Um, but then again, I did wind up in the situation where I'm also divorced, so I'm no longer a step parent at the very least. um, but I do believe in God, and part of the reason why I do what I do is because I have been through lots of experiences that have prepared me for such a time as this, so that I am able to be here with you even tonight to share with you about how important it is to dismantle the madness. Do you all see my madness on the screen? Some of these things put me in a certain space for a very long time, especially even when I was in college. I went to college. My parents allowed me to go to college while they took care of my son. I got to go and be a student. I got to go and enjoy the life of a college student. They told me that they were not going to allow one mistake that I made to just make all kinds of problems in my life. They didn't call my son a mistake. They just said that that mistake, that experience that I had, that which I had chosen to do, was not going to disrupt my entire life. So I had the opportunity to go off to college. And I know that that's not everyone's story, that's not everyone's life, but I had that opportunity. But as soon as I had a moment, I moved out, out of the dorms and got my apartment and everything. And I told my parents, I told his grandparents, hey, both sides, he's going to come and live with me. So I was ending my junior year, starting my internship as a teacher, and my son is living with me. So I am doing life for real as a single parent with this little kindergarten. He wasn't even in kindergarten yet. He was in daycare. So I'm still having to go and pick him up from daycare or drop him off in the morning before and after my internship, right? I'm in college, but my life, and I made that decision that that's what I was going to do. And so I think it was the best thing because I got to spend that time with him and he got to see what it was like to see what mommy had been doing all the while I was gone. And so it was a benefit, it was a blessing. And then it gives me again another opportunity, give me some more experiences so that I'm able to share with you all. Now, before I continue on with more about me, let me introduce our team. I'm so excited that our team, several members of our team are here. I can't see them all. Let me see if I change. I'm going to come out. Let me stop sharing for just a moment and see who is here. Hello, hello, hello. I see you all. I see people on their phones, so their names are not their names are not there, but I think I know who's here. Hey, Tasha, let's get excited about Latasha. Latasha is here. She is the president of our board, and she is also a one of our parent advocates in training. I'm so excited that she is here. We also have Camille. Camille's in the house. She's a new trainee. I'm so excited about her. She is going to be so amazing as a parent advocate. And Leo, listen, let me tell you, why can't you see some of these people? Because they are actually with their children, their parents, their educators. They are living the life. Doing, hello, hello, how are you? I'm so happy to see you, slightly meet you. So Leo, and then we have, let me see. Wait, where is that? Who is that? This is all I know. I don't know who this person is, but I'm happy you're here. So we got Leo, we have Camille, and we have Latasha who are here with us. And I'm not sure who the other person is on their phone, but I'm so happy that you all are here. And I'm not requiring you to show your face. Oh, hey, Corinne. How are you? Corinne is also another one of our parent advocates. And so she's going to be available tonight to share if, in fact, you want to spend some time with one of our advocates. Now that we've introduced you to all of them, because they have to go through a training. Let me help you with that, first of all. Our advocates They start with, they have a 2-part or 3-part training. So they're in class for 2 sessions. And then on the third portion is that they get to spend time with clients so that they can utilize what they've been trained before they actually become certified. So I'm really excited that they're here tonight and that they get an opportunity to hear some more teaching that I get to do tonight. So I'm really excited. And if you haven't noticed, I'm really excited. Those are the words that I say all the time because when I do this, when I have an opportunity to teach parents, um, it just really does. It makes me really happy because if parents are not present, if parents
Nothing. I'm supposed to be in a meeting.
age, then the children, they're next. And if we are not prepared to give them all that they need, if we don't prepare them properly, then the world that we live in today is, we think it's bad now. Just imagine if parents aren't properly prepared to properly prepare children. Imagine what's going to happen to the world that we live in. So let's continue. Oh, I just lost it. Oh, and Bobby just joined in, but I see that she's also in the midst of something. So she's also still in training. She's a part of our board as well. Let me see. I cannot see it. I'm going to see it. I'm going to see it. I'm going to see it. There we go. There we go. All right. Education Inside Out. Let me tell you a little bit about Education Inside Out. Our target is parents of at-risk students. Why? Because the struggles, as I was just saying, that are facing them are quite evident in the behavior and academics of their children. Now, are there other parents that need assistance? Absolutely. But it's not always quite as evident. Oftentimes parents want to say, oh no, everything's fine. Oh no, we're fine, because people go home and they close the door and they don't talk about what's happening in their homes. They don't talk about what's happening when they get home and close the door. And then they tell their children, don't you go and tell anybody anything about what's happening here. And then children just go and they function, or they semi-function, because that's what they were instructed to do. But parents of at-risk children, the evidence is clear. They're having severe behavior or even mild behaviors that are consistent, which speaks to the idea that they need some assistance, or their academics are so low. And again, that is evidence that they need some help. Tikisha Michelle, why did you choose parents of at-risk children? Why not just young children? Well, at-risk children span the entire, all of the grade levels. So with that, we get to talk to parents and empower parents of all of the children, but the children that need their parents to be there for them the most. That's why I have worked in so many different schools in so many different cities and states. And throughout my career, I remember time and again I was that teacher that said, here's my phone number. And I would talk to parents. They would call me when they get off work. And I remember I have this very clear vision of sitting on the floor next to my sofa. And another parent that night was calling me about spelling homework, about spelling words. And that particular parent, which it wasn't the first time any parent had done this, but my memory is of this parent sharing with me all of the things that were going on in her life. All of the things that were going on. I remember correctly that she had twin boys. Okay, I'm teaching second grade at the time. She has twin boys and she's just trying to make it work. And she was telling me her struggles, and I knew their struggles, the struggles of the boys, and all the things that were happening in her life. This was a mom who'd given me a a note. Back then, parents, I used to have drawers full of notes where parents would give me permission to discipline their children, right? Because they didn't have time for me to call them. For years, I had drawers filled with letters from parents. Look here, you have permission to discipline my child. Those are memories that I have. And that was the early part of my career. Before I ever got my master's in administration, these are the things that said to me when after I got my master's and I was still teaching in yet a different state, in a different town, in a different school. And I was like, wow, there are parents and children everywhere who need the same type of assistance, who need the same structures and strategies that are going to help them to ensure the success of their children. And so came Education Inside Out. So let's go a little bit further. Today we're going to talk about dismantling madness. So we've got to define what is madness. And why do we have to do this, Tikisha Michelle? Because there are we're going to talk about 5 steps that are necessary to dismantle madness. And I'll get back to that in just a moment. Let's define dismantle and madness, because why would I didn't just choose a name just to be choosing a name, right? We have to dismantle madness. And when we talk about dismantling madness, we're mostly talking about the importance that is to cause or to stop functioning by gradually reducing the power or the purpose. Y'all, dismantle. We don't want to just take it apart. Okay, we do want to take it apart, but we just got to stop the functions. We've got to cut it off. I talk to my advocates about the importance of getting to the root of a thing. Because if you stop or you cut it off before you get to the root of it, it can grow again. When we dismantle this, we want to stop the functioning. So we got to go piece by piece so that we can reach the root part that is going to stop the madness. The madness, Tikisha Michelle, why do you use madness? Madness. The portion of the definition that I want to focus on for madness is a reckless state of mind. We're not focused. There's foolish behavior. Foolish behavior for who? Not just the children, you all. It's madness, reckless state of mind for the parents. And I don't know if you've seen anything else that I've done, if you've seen any of the other videos that I've done, but my statement is that children are a manifestation of what is happening at home. The madness comes from the parents ultimately. Now, don't get me wrong. When I say the parents, I'm not talking about if the parent has a mental health condition. I'm not talking about that, right? And I'm not even talking about if children have a mental health condition, because that's the state. It's always been the state of the world. It's just more. It's magnified more now. People magnified, not negatively. It is magnified in that more people are getting help. The conversations are greater. People are actually talking about the need for mental health. So that's a part of the world that we live in. And I'm okay with that. But when everyone has mental health, right? So keep that in mind. Mental health is a state of mind in and of itself. But when there are issues, when there are mental issues, when there are disturbances for various reasons, those are the things that we're not talking about. We're talking about people who have gone through maybe some traumas, or who maybe have made some decisions, some choices, and those things are affecting their lives and the lives of their children. We've got to stop those things from happening. We've got to reduce the power so that the children have an opportunity to be successful. Now, before we continue, because it's going to get a little rough. Because I can't, I see this, there's an urgency. There is an urgency to dismantle madness because the state of the world that we live in, oh my goodness, what are we going to do if we don't dismantle the madness? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some reasons to dismantle the madness before you become displeased with me because of how I say or what I say. I want you to hold on in your mind to the reasons to dismantle the madness, okay? Your children's chances of success increase. They become productive members of society, and you leave a legacy that you and your ancestors can be proud of when you dismantle the madness. Hold on to that because it's about to get a little rocky. It's about to get a little rough. I say, we started, kindly, right? Like Tina Turner, rolling on the river, right? We started a little bit easy. But as we continue, it's going to get a little rough. I'm going to need you to see yourself as we continue through the rest of this conference time. All right. So get excited about it. That these are the reasons, right? That's the part I want you excited about. The next pieces, you may not be too excited about those, but at the very least, hold on to this part, okay? We're continuing to talk about the importance of dismantling madness. Now, what creates madness? One major thing that I want you to think about is exposure to environmental stressors. Environmental stressors? Tikisha, what are you talking about? Environmental stressors, you go to work, that's a stressor. You break up, you have a breakup with someone, that's a stressor. You have a roommate that moves in, that moves out, that's a stressor. And these stressors are not just on the adults. Again, these stressors also affect the children. The children, we see it in them, right? They are a manifestation of the stresses that parents have. So as we go through, the objective of this is so that I can help you to have less stress and more control. So again, we are dismantling. We have to dismantle the madness so that you can get to a point where you have less stress and more control. Exposure to environmental stressors. Sometimes even where you live can be identified as an environmental stressor. And even some other things, I'm going to talk to you about the madness that we're going to dismantle, but I want to get to, I don't want to get to that yet. Where did it go? Yes, yes, and yes, and yes. I apologize. This is not where, okay, that's okay. I know exactly what I want to say. So the madness that we're going to dismantle, we're going to go ahead and go right into this space. I switched up the game a little bit. Inactive and inattentive parenting. Told you it was going to get rough. If you are an inactive or inattentive parent, then what we're going to see in schools, on the playgrounds, at various activities, are attention-seeking or withdrawn students. Let's talk about that for a little bit. Attention-seeking or withdrawn students. That's on either side of the spectrum, you all. If you are not actively involved with your child, then you're definitely going to be an ineffective parent. You are your child's first advocate. And the madness is yours if you do not help your child develop good character. You got to be in it. You got to pay attention to what's happening in their lives. You must take time to spend productive time with your children. Y'all, you think it's hard maybe you think it's hard to go on a family outing. Anybody think it's hard to go on a family outing? Anybody? Anybody think it's hard to go on a family outing? Hey, hey, welcome, welcome. Is it hard to go on a family outing?
No, I don't think so.
No? Anybody think it's hard? No?
Sometimes.
Sometimes? Why would it be hard to go on a family outing? What's one reason maybe why people don't go on a family outing? Anybody?
Some people will probably say time, money.
Okay. Time or money. Okay, I'll take it. Time, money. But what if it was free? What if a family outing was not much more than going for a walk around your block? What if a family outing was not much more than your backyard or the park at the end of your block? Or making, I don't know, I see these on TV, and we used to do them, making a fort in the living room, on the sofa or on the floor. Can anybody raise your hand? Anybody ever make a fort? Anybody ever make a fort? No, yes. Anybody, none of you ever made a fort? Yes, yes. Wasn't it like so much fun, right? It was just all the sheets, all the covers, everything is just there. And it's like, oh, you're all, and when you do it, to me, I always thought it was weird when parents got in because they were like so big, right? But that's an experience. That's something to remember. All the covers up on the bed, all the covers, they're all up on the bed, and everybody is there. And it's like, oh my goodness, lights on the ceiling. What do you call? Not lights, glow in the dark stickers, right? Why not? That's just fun stuff. Those are memories. Y'all know, let me tell you, there's some things that I did with my children. I don't even remember. I don't remember some stuff I did because I was tired too. I know people say, I'm tired. I got to work. Guess what? I did too. But they remember stuff that I have no working memory of. Do you understand me? They explained to me some things that I did with them that I do not remember. Does anybody here, do you all remember any specific time that was so random that you spent with your family, with your parents, or with your children that was just, it's a memory that you don't have a picture of it? Nobody spent any money. It was just a memory that was created because of some random time that you spent. Anybody, you can raise your hand or you can wave at me or you can chime in or put it in the chat. Oh, I got some chat. Yes, right? Yes. Okay, okay. Good, good. Thank you, thank you. Wonderful. Thank you for sharing. Thank you, thank you. So go out. You'll just have discussions about local or world events. Okay. And let me say this. If you are actually paying attention to your children, what you will also begin to do is you will begin to find out what's happening in your child's life. Throwing your children to the social media, to the device, to screen time, you're not going to learn much about them. You can go and look at their history and find out and you're going to learn something. Pay attention. They know that you're not paying attention, and they know when you are paying attention. They do. And I'm talking to parents and teachers tonight. So I'm even the teacher that will just simply stand there when children are doing things that they have no business doing. And I just look. Just look at them. I don't even have to say anything. And then you watch them shrink in their chair. And I have to say nothing. Your children are the same way with you. You can look at them and say nothing. I'm going to move on because I can talk about these things all the day, forever and ever. Ineffective parenting. Oh, I'm sorry. One more thing. Write this down. Somebody write this down somewhere. Share it with anybody who you know. This is very important. Please encourage your child, but do not be oblivious to what is true, whether it is because of you or not. I want you to encourage them. Good job. Celebrate them. Let them know that you are on their side. But please don't be that parent that is oblivious to what's actually going on. And maybe, you know, I've heard parents say, well, they get that talking from me. It's not funny. There's some other things that children get from parents. And the way that they respond to it, or the things that they are doing as a result of being like their parent today, looks a little different than it did when you were your child's age. So even if they are that way, behave that way, or do that thing because of you or it's something that you did, that's madness that has to be dismantled. And you have to pay attention to it. And you've got to actively be involved with them so that you can do the work to dismantle it. Let's move on. Ineffective parenting. Ineffective parenting. So I don't know about y'all, but as I was preparing and studying ineffective, I was like, ineffective, inactive, inattentive. These words, they all sound like they're exactly the same thing. I like words, okay? They're not exactly the same thing. Ineffective parenting is you're not producing results, okay? Inactive, you're not engaging, you're not involved. Inattentive, you're not responsive to your child's needs. But ineffective is you are not producing results. And you are probably not producing results if you are inactive or inattentive. You see, it just flows. You see, it flows. I love it. I love it. What do you get as a result of ineffective parenting? Non-compliant children or students. If they're not listening to you, when they get to school, who are they listening to? Or how many times does a teacher have to give an instruction? How many times do you give an instruction? Do you believe that we have time? And I say we because I am an educator, right? Do you think that we have time to repeat an instruction? I mean, you repeat at home, right? You repeat at home. And that shouldn't work for you. But then we get them at school, and then we have 12, and we have to repeat. How much instruction can be done if we are repeating for your child and your child and your child and your child? Too much that has to be done, too much information that needs to be shared. Now, let me ask you this. Are you a parent that is so complacent with the way schools are educating your children that you have chosen to put the future of your child in the hands of schools solely? You have decided, go ahead. I release my child to you. I'm not doing much else. I send them to school. And I don't know about any of you who are joining us here tonight or who will see the replay of this. When I say the replay, yes. I don't know about you all, but we hear parents say, I send them to school. I expect you to teach them. What do you mean? but they live with you. My response, it's your offspring. That's your legacy. What part are you playing? Mom, dad, in some instances, grandparent. What part are you playing to ensure the success of your children? So I say to you, if you want change, you're going to have to participate. I don't know how many of you, but I want you all to consider, when was the last time you purchased a workbook or flashcards? Or even if you didn't purchase the flashcards, you went and bought index cards. And nowadays, index cards cost about as much as a pack of flashcards. But you buy the index cards and you, whatever it is that your child needs, that's hands-on stuff, right? I know people want to go straight digital. Go digital then. That's fine. Go digital. Did you make sure that they downloaded an activity that was going to help them academically? Did you download an activity that was going to bring calm to their mental health? What part did you play? Or did you just give them, what did my children tell me? Money, coins, I don't know, whatever it's called. And somebody can put it in the chat, the monies that you give kids to just go and buy game time or buy, I don't even know. That's so sad. I hear them talk about it. My kids, y'all saw my kids, they're adults. And I don't play video games like that. So what's the purpose of the monies that you give them? And how involved are you when they're playing these games and doing these activities? You've got to be a participant. We want to see change. So you're being active and being attentive and being effective is going to have to be consistent so that we can begin to see those changes and those improvements that are so imperative to ensuring the success of your children. And now what I also want to tell you all, hold on to this. Don't just be excited about right now. You know, earlier I said to you, make sure you talk to your kids, have discussions about local and world events. Why? Why, Tikisha Michelle? Why am I having these conversations with them? I'm tired. I don't have time for that. Oh, but you should. Because I don't want you to just be excited about right now. Oh, they got an A because they know all their alphabet. Oh, they got an A because they can recite all of their multiplication facts. Y'all, there's so much more to come. And the world is moving faster. There's so much more information and it's coming faster and faster and faster. Shucks, I just got my own self out of focus on the camera. It's going to get out of focus. It's really easy as your children get older and all of the information comes. You need to start trying and working to impact their future. So don't just be excited about right now, impact their future. But Tikisha Michelle, he or she is only in the 5th grade or the 3rd grade or the 8th grade, or it's not time yet. Oh, but it's past time. It's past time. Our children, the children in the United States, are so far behind children in other countries. We see the wars and all of these things. We might be getting a little bit of a breather right now, a little bit of a bye, because these folks they're struggling, right? They are going through so much turmoil in their countries right now. But my goodness, they have been so laser focused on education. And then they give us their technology. And we brag about how much we pay for the technology that they give us. And then we wonder why our children don't. They can play a game. Are you preparing them to design games? Are you preparing for them to write the code? Do you send them to code writing classes? Are you preparing them for the future? Or is just right now okay? So you can get a nap. So you can tell everybody, oh, she did really well in this, or he did really well at that. I bought all of the juices for the game. Girl, I got I made sure them kids had all of them had a honey bun. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, the nutrition. I'm serious about all of these things, you all. And I'm talking, and I try to make light of it, but I'm serious about it. The madness must be dismantled. And moving on, when I've talked about inactive and inattentive and ineffective parents. Guess what? There are also inactive and passive teachers. Yes, inactive and passive teachers. Inactive, they are not being mobile. They're just not. And proximity is imperative, especially when you are dealing with at-risk children. They need your presence. They need you to be in their space so that they understand that matter of fact, that's like baseline to teaching. That's a beginning teacher is taught that in college. Proximity. If you are not actively involved with the children, they know it. If you are not focused, zoned in, if you are not cognitively engaged with your children, passive teaching, they know it and they pick at it because they know. Oh, I know Miss Brown. Miss Brown, all she gonna do is stand there and look. Miss Brown, she's not going to say anything. Miss Brown, she just doesn't care. I don't even think she knows. You have limited relationships with parents and students. Therefore, you have what? Behavior problems. You haven't called a parent. You don't know how to talk to a parent. You're nervous about having relationships with parents. Got to get it together. That's some more of the madness, because if the parent is at home and they're not doing a whole lot, and then the child comes to school and the teacher is not doing a whole lot, what is a child to think? Who's in charge? Who is in charge, really? Right? We have got to have greater expectations for our students. We've got to. I don't know if you all have ever heard of Marva Collins, but she was also someone who I was trained under at the beginning of my education career. Marva Collins, Great Expectations. I recommend you all go check her out. Also, let me tell you all this. Check out this book right here, Parents. Oh, absolutely, you can see it. Leverage Your Influence and Impact. This is for teachers and parents. I met this young lady online. Her name is Paula Pipkin. Paula Pipkin reached out to me. Somebody told Paula to reach out to Tikisha Michelle, and I want to highlight her book. I'm not even finished with it, but when I started it, y'all, this book right here, so impactful. It was as though I was talking to myself as I read the book, because it's things that I teach you all that I've been teaching for so many years. And I'm blown away. Leverage Your Influence and Impact by Paula Pipkin. Get excited about it. All right, we're going to move on. The madness. We've already discussed the madness, so let's keep going. Oh my goodness, this is what I was looking for. Oh, y'all, have y'all ever heard of Dr. Ada Suter? Anybody, you can raise your hand. If you're on here and you've ever heard of Dr. Ada Suter, go ahead and raise your hand. Well, I swap it. Yes, yes. Dr. Ada is so stinking fantastic. I love her. And she has shared with us this wonderful, wonderful, wonderful gift. Um, as you can probably see there, it's 9 pages of information that's going to help you. It's a health and nutrition for your children, right? To help make sure that they can be successful at school, but it's going to take some work on your part. Remember, I talked about honey buns earlier and breakfast? I didn't talk about breakfast. Let me ask y'all this question. So when I'm talking about breakfast, okay, really fast. And y'all see this because it says starts with breakfast. Energy and focus for your children starts with breakfast. Y'all know one of my pet peeves about school breakfast? Can anybody guess? School breakfast.
It's full of sugar.
It is, yes, it is so filled with sugar. It annoys my life. I mean, it's free. So I guess like most things that are free when it comes to food, it's not really that good for you. Or inexpensive, sorry. And I'll just share this with you, something that she taught me. This is not me being all, I'll just use uppity. This is what people say, but it's not me being that. It's really me being informative. Okay. If you go to the grocery store, anything that's eye level, let me see if I can make sure I get it right. Anything that's eye level is going to be less expensive and less healthy. When you go get cereals, the sugar cereals are right there. The more expensive ones are not in reach. The healthier ones are not in reach. I mean, not in reach, but they're not right there at your eye level where you can just get it and go, where your kids can get it and go. It's the sugar, y'all, the ones that are most filled with sugar. You got to check it out. You can get in contact with Dr. Ada. She'll tell you about all of these things. But let me show you this. I see that hand still up there. I know you are excited about Dr. Ada too. I'm going to show you all this right here. Uh-oh, wrong way. It's okay. I can move you. Move it. Okay, there we go. Quick and effective health and nutrition tips to support your child's energy and growth. I'm only going to show you this. Well, no, that's not true. I'm going to show you the first slide just so that you can see Dr. Ada. So those of you who don't know her, this is Dr. Ada. That's her husband and her daughter. And this is all the information about Dr. Ada. You give us your email, you're going to get this document for you and your family so that you can begin to apply this to your everyday life. I'm excited about it. She's fantastic. She has all of this. She has a wealth of knowledge, and we are going to benefit from all that she has for us about how medicine, how food impacts the medicine that your child is taking. If in fact your children are on medication, this document also talks about how foods and medicines interact with each other and how to help your child. So you're going to find your child's triggers and avoid them. Avoid them. Avoid them. Okay, the Bible even speaks about not inciting wrath in your children. Detox. Detox is so important, not just for your children, but for you too, because we got to dismantle the madness. And where is the madness? The madness starts with the parent, right? Starts with the parent. We have to take care of ourselves so that we can effectively take care of our children. Breakfast, make sure it's a healthy breakfast. Now, y'all are going to be like, oh, Tikisha Michelle, you just think you're all of that. I don't. But what I was able to do, because I used to have to rush off to school when I was a little girl, I remember I had to hurry up and get there so that I could have breakfast, right? And for me, I mean, my mommy, it was just my mommy. She was a single parent at the time. And so we had to have free and reduced lunch. So we had tickets, which were equivalent to a food stamp. We had tickets and we had to use that ticket to get breakfast. If I lost my tickets, you only got your tickets on like a Friday or on a Monday is when you got all your tickets for a week or for 2 weeks or whatever. And they were like this, you know, it was like maybe this big, I guess. And the ticket may have been about this big and you got 5 of them and then they were all stapled together. I was prone to lose them. I tried to keep up with them. So I might not have gotten breakfast. So I didn't want that. I didn't want to worry about that for my children. I didn't want to have to worry about them going in and having money on their account and all of those things. So I would get up and I would fix breakfast for them every morning. I think I thought I was crazy. My kids have breakfast cooked for them every morning. Some things came out of the microwave. My mother told me that my son's insides were going to glow, but I still made sure my kids have breakfast every morning. Um, some people can't do that. I understand, but we got to do something different because we want to make sure we are supporting our children's energy and focus. And right now, the sugar is definitely not helping. You all see multivitamins are important, organic specific supplements, video games. That's too much screen time. You got to knock it down, got to knock it down. And I would love to talk with you about that, about what it looks like. Um, but we'll talk more about that in one-on-ones. If in fact you choose, again, during this time, if you want to talk with an advocate, please put a message in the chat and we will let you go and chat with an advocate on tonight. All right, movement, activities, y'all. I gave my students a challenge. I sent them a 10-minute workout. Y'all, there are little 10-minute beginning workouts. Another family time activity, something that's free, right in your own house. And guess what? It benefits you too. Get excited about that, okay? Movement. And mean what you say and say what you mean. I just told you all about that. If you're going to be an effective parent, if you're going to be an active parent, your children have to believe what you say. If you tell them screen time is up in 1 hour or no phone time or no this or that, say it and mean it. Do it. Make it happen. You have to be consistent so that they can trust you. Teachers and parents alike. And then, of course, living by example. There is no way in my classroom, my students know I am very healthy, very health conscious. If I happen to eat a bag of chips, what do you call the little snack size bag of chips? Why are you eating chips? You know that's not healthy. No matter, they got a whole bag of nasty Takis in their bag. They're telling me about my little bag of Lay's chips. You know that's not healthy. You're not supposed. What? You got a sugar drink? How much sugar is it? They're chastising me. How dare they? They're chastising me. Can you believe it? They're eating everything under the sun. Their parents, I don't know how these kids are coming to school with bags of sugar. Ultimately, they may as well just get a 5-pound bag of sugar and a box of salt and consume that. But because my example is health consciousness, if they see me out of step, they chastise me. This is for you, mom, dad, grandma, auntie. We've got to be that example for our children. It's on us. We've got to set the example. We have to be consistent so that we can ensure the success of our children. It's imperative. And I can't say it enough. It's on us. We've got to dismantle the madness so that our children have a chance at success. This is serious. I just need you to know this. You can see it, I'm sure. I'll state it. And I'm serious about it. And I'm not pulling any punches with it. I'm serious. Your children are failing. Teachers cannot fix it without you. 1/3 of the children in the United States, 1/3 read on grade level. 1/3 of the children in the United States read on grade level. 1/3. Elementary, let me be more concise. 1/3 of elementary school children read on grade level. Shucks. Not much different in middle and high school, y'all. You, mom, dad, grandma, auntie, whomever is the caretaker, you are responsible to help. We cannot do it without you. I know you're doing your best, but what if there is better? We've talked about these already. What does it look like? What does it look like to be inactive? You're always sleeping. You're not present. You're self absorbed. You're not even engaging. There's a lack of responsiveness to your child's wants and needs. We gotta stop it. Fussing and cussing. Then you wonder why you get a phone call or you get emails about these things happening with your own children. You don't even understand sometimes that your children, the things that you do for them or with them, is not even age appropriate. Come on, you are the parent. You cannot relive your youth through your children. That's madness. And then you only discipline your children when you've had enough. No matter what the classroom teacher is going through, only when you've had enough. But if you're not consistent, it will be ineffective. And then these teachers teach from the seat, overstanding and gullible, and the students know exactly which teachers those are. But what if there's better? What if there is better? Think on these things. This is a basis that we talk about, Philippians 4 and 8. I want you to consider this as we draw to an end, to a close. I'm going to give you those 5 steps in just a moment. Who is in charge at your home? I mean, really, who's in charge? Think about that. When you were asleep, who was in control? Did you wake up and have to yell and fuss at people, the little people in your home? Maybe sometimes the big people, because you didn't even prepare them. And so now they still live with you and don't even have what they need to be successful in the world. Not just they live with you because the state of the world is, the economy is that, parents and children still live together. No, they can't even make it on their own because they never even got the tools. Who or what are you committed to? Is it Bob? Is it Nancy? Is it anybody else that's not your child? Who are you committed to? And do they know it? Do you leave them to go and spend time instead of helping ensure that they are successful? What is your relationship with your children? Do they know that if somebody calls them from school that you're coming or that you're going to respond? Or do they say things, y'all, this is my favorite. She just told y'all that in a meeting. She ain't mean that. I have been laughing, sadly laughing. I don't even know how you call that. I heard so many children in my ISS room say, you thought she really meant that? You thought she really meant that? She was just saying that. She'll never do any of that stuff. Go and call her. Like, goodness. And then, of course, I will call and they'd be right. Question: what are your child's scores? And I don't just mean their report card. How often do you receive information concerning behavior? Your child's scores and the report card are 2 different things. If you don't get a call, normally that means something's good or things are kind of average, or the teacher's just not telling you all about it. So what you have to do is have a relationship with your school. What is your relationship with your child's school? Do they even know who you are unless there's a problem? What is your relationship with your child's school? Next, this is for teachers. How is your classroom management? Do your students' parents trust you with information or even to help? Or do they always call someone else? Or do they reluctantly reach out to you? And it's not really a good conversation. Are your students willing to share with you? or they always trying to find out what's going on in your life. Y'all know I've known some teachers who have told children everything about their life, and I've just been mind blown. And then the children walk around and share what's happening in the lives of the teachers as though it's one of their buddies. Just like you, teacher or whomever, you are not friends with your children. And parents, please, please, I hope that you are your child's parent. The friendship part doesn't come until much later. I'm a witness. I'm a witness. My daughter says, girl, that's what she says to me now. And I still feel some type of way. Hold on, my name is mommy. Hold on. But we're there. She's 25. We've kind of gotten there, right? But not when she was a teenager. Girl, mom, that's what it should have been. That's what it was with us. I'm not sure what it is with you. Consider that. Same with you. Miss So-and-so, Miss Karen, Miss Jones, Miss, you are not Sandy, you are not Jessica, you are not Kim, you are Miss whomever. Keep the relationship where it needs to be. Hold on to that. I want you to think for a moment. I have this why up here. This is the time that I want you to, if you desire, welcome, welcome. I see some other folks have joined us. If you want to go into a breakout room with an advocate, this is your time to do that. I'm going to watch the chat and see if anyone sends a message to me just for a moment. And if you want to go into a room just to chat with a parent advocate for a bit, this is your time to do that. Now, if you choose to not go into a breakout room, that's okay. You can definitely reach out. You'll see our contact information at the end, and we can set you up with a time. If you want to talk through some of these things, you may have been saying so far, look, Tikisha Michelle, you've been trying to come for me this whole time. You've been saying some things, and that's just really, it's not fair. There's this going on in my life, and this is going on in my life. I get it. There probably are so many things going on in your life. And that's why we're here. We want to help you to dismantle the madness. We want to help you to put those structures and strategies in place. We want to give you, I'm going to give you those 5 steps in just a moment that are going to help you, how we will help you walk through those steps to make sure that those things are cut off, that the madness is cut off, that it is dismantled for sure. Think about it. Why are some of these things happening in your life? Why are some of these things happening in your household? Are you fussing and cussing? Are your children in charge? Are you not committed to making sure that they are successful? Are you way too lackadaisical? Do you even know where they stand academically? Or even their personalities? Parents oftentimes say, not my child. They don't do that at home. I will restate. Children are a manifestation of what is happening at home. And with that, we're going to continue. There's just a little bit more, because with all of those things, there is hope. I know I told you I was going to come hard, and I was going to tell you the things that I told you. And I hope that you've made it through. I'm glad that you're here at this point to recognize and to identify and to accept and understand that there is hope. It's not over. It's never over. Is it hard? Might it be challenging? Absolutely. But there is hope. This is what's going to help you. You're going to read with your children and talk with them. about the books and stories you read. Mommy read so many books. She used to have to get rid of bags of books, y'all. Let me tell you, bags of books. And she would tell us about them. Some of my siblings, their names are from characters in my mommy's books. Funny, funny. Help your children work on homework assignments. What? You want me to actually help them? Absolutely. I want you to sit there. I want you to sit there and listen. I can't tell you how many times I almost fell asleep listening to stories and having to remember what the story was about so that I could ask questions. I'm not telling you that this junk is easy. I'm just telling you that it's necessary. You got to be in the game, okay? Organize and monitor your child's time. Organize and monitor your child's time. That's on you. It's on you. I told them to go do it. That's what we hear a lot. I told her she was supposed to. Where were you? Where were you sitting? I had to be at work. Okay, well, then did you check it when you got in? Did you tell him or her where to leave it so that you could see it when you got in? And then in the morning, you had an alarm set so that you could get up and share with them. Is it hard? Absolutely. But it's necessary. Tutor your child with materials and instructions provided by your teacher, or they're on the internet. You can do it. I believe in you. Just like you believe in them, I believe in you. We believe in you. You are well able. Maybe it's hard. Go to Khan's Academy. Khan's Academy will help you teach math. This math is really hard for me. Math is really, really hard for me. But Khan's Academy helped me make it through a whole lot. And then there's so many other platforms out there that you can help your child learn and be successful with. And then finally, attend and actively support school activities. Get up and go. Why would you not show up? Oh, I got off work late. They have school events that go until later in the evening. You have a calendar. The calendar is online. You get messages. Why not make a plan with your boss? Hey, I need to be off this day. You get weeks in advance notice oftentimes. Why not make a plan so that you can be attending and actively supporting not just the school, but your child? Be in the space. Show them that you care in a different way. Not just that you bought them some time and some new shoes. These are things that you can do to help the change that is necessary so that you can positively and properly impact the life of your child. You have been living in grace. Grace, Tikisha Michelle, what do you mean by grace? You've had extended favor, right? Until you arrive at the expected end. Who's going to pay the price, though, while you're trying to get there? What's going on with your child or your children while you're still trying to figure it out? You don't have to live in grace for much longer. There's help now. There's help. There's help. There's been help, but now we're here. And I want you to know that we are here to help you, to help your children. Remember the reasons to dismantle madness. These are the reasons. I want you to write these things down. I want you to make sure that because you want your children to have success, you want them to be productive members of society, and you want to leave a legacy, you want to make sure that you read with them, right? You want to go to conferences like these. Also, you're going to have to do the work. You're going to have to dismantle the madness. You're going to have to do the action items. Action items, yes, the action items the action items that are provided to you by an advocate from Education Inside Out. You're going to have to put structures and strategies in place. It's just imperative. You've got to put the structures and strategies in place so that your children can have consistency. And then finally, you have to choose and decide that you can and will fulfill the work that was placed in front of you in order to ensure the success of your children. You've got to make the decision. The title of this conference was a mandate, it was a command to dismantle madness. Now, could we, those of you who talk about it, let me break it down first. So listen, you see this dismantle madness. There was dismantling madness, dismantle the madness. No. Dismantle is two directives. That's one directive, I mean. Dismantle madness. That's all I want you to do. Dismantle madness. It's all around you, all around your children. They live in madness that's not even coming from you. Why compile it? The things that are happening in your own home. It's because of you sometimes that there is madness, but it's also because of you that the madness gets to be dismantled. Your name is mom, dad, grandma. You are the hero in their lives, or at least you should be. You are the person that's going to lead them and guide them and ensure their success. What does success look like, Tikisha Michelle? Success looks like whatever it is that they want to accomplish. If you're having those conversations with them, then you'll find out what it is. You'll make the changes to their thinking. My brother, I told my students, my brother, when he was little, he used to say, I'm going to be a gas station man. I'm going to be a gas station man. And we used to be like, a gas station man? Well, who wants to be one of those? And so that was his desire. That's all he wanted to do was go pump gas for people. We were like, you're weird. Praise God that gas station men went out of business. They stopped being a thing. I'm happy that happened. He's a police officer now for the sheriff's department. But we had to have those conversations. I remember my mom going, you don't want to be anything else? I mean, she didn't down it. My siblings and I, of course, we went in on him. But my mom was like, are you sure that you don't want to be something else? Are you not interested in anything else? So she got to have those conversations. We spent a lot of time in a car going, traveling to and fro. So we got to have those conversations. And mommy would come in tired. Y'all understand me? Tired, as my mommy would say, tired is what she would say. And we would all be jumping around her. It reminds me of just looking at TV shows of puppies just around, bouncing around the mother. And that's how we were. And the loudest person, people talk about how loud I am and how much I talk. I'm glad I got jokes, but it's okay. Because if you wanted to be heard, you had to be the loudest one. You had to say what you wanted to say really fast so that she could pay attention to you before she went on to the next child. So she would do all of those things and walk around look like a zombie and then give me all this responsibility when she did go to sleep. But she didn't have to be concerned. She could sleep because she had already prepared me, right? And I was in charge of my siblings. She'd done the work. So she could have less stress. She was in control. We knew when to come home. We knew what to do when we got there. We knew what we couldn't do. And we knew what would happen if we didn't. Are you ready to do the work to ensure the success of your children? That's not rhetorical. I want to see hands. I want to see hands raised. Are you ready to do the work to ensure the success of your children? Yes, I see a thumbs up already. Yes, let me see. Yes, hands raised. Yes, yes. I love it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. Those of you who are actively participating and paying attention, I love it. Or maybe you just don't have children. Very good. Very good. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know that you're in it with me still. Thank you. Thank you. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Listen, I am so happy. Listen, we are Education Inside Out. We are parent advocates and right, empty nesting. But hey, empty nesters, we're still teaching, right? We're still teaching our kids. We're still helping them in their adulthood, helping them to adult, as they say. My daughter says, Mom, I did a good job of adulting today. I tell her, very good. I'm happy to know. So that makes me excited for her and all of the children who are adult children who have been prepared so that they could still go out into that world and learn to be successful, even with continued lessons. So we're going to wrap this up. I am so happy that I've had this time with you. Again, we are Education Inside Out. I am Tikisha Michelle, your parent empowerment specialist. We have our parent advocates who are on the line as well. And if in fact you all have all that information right there, I'm going to share with you the slide. I'm going to stop this unless anybody, I hope everybody's getting this information. And we are available on Facebook, Instagram. We're on Twitter, but I don't play with it too much. YouTube. You will be able to watch a replay of tonight's conference. I'm so excited that you all were able to be here for our very first Parent Empowerment virtual conference. Get excited about it. Yay! Thank you all so much for joining us. Please, you. Oh yeah, that's right. Right. You yes. Thank you. Thank you. Tell Lisa tomorrow, please. No, I'm just joking, just joking. I'm so happy that you are able to be here. And what we're going to do, again, I'm going to share with you the link to Dr. Ada so that, and I want y'all to share it. She said, here, take this. It was her gift to all of the parents at our live in-person conference. And she said, go ahead and use it. And when we have a future virtual conference, she's actually going to join us and she's going to do the whole teach on it. She has so much information. She's a wealth of knowledge. So feel free to reach out to her. I know there's a QR scanner on there for you to get even more information, to get in contact with her. So please take advantage of that and share it with your family and friends. I believe that it is imperative that we start now ensuring the success of our children, because if we do not, I don't even want to imagine the state that our world will be in if things continue on the path that they're on right now. So let's make it happen, y'all. Let's get in there and empower our children, empower our families and friends. I want you to go to YouTube and share this when you get a chance. You'll see it on our social media. But in the meantime, thank you so much for joining us and have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your evening. I am Tikisha Michelle again, your parent empowerment specialist, and I look forward to meeting you again on social media. Have a great night, you all. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.